Do you buy that and this balancing act between protecting us and leaking a lot of information on us?
Well, I want to be very clear. The problem with all of this is that we have an individual who decided that he was going to betray his country.
You're talking about Ed Snowden. You're talking about Ed Snowden, the NSA leaker.
Was going to betray his country, and he chose to declassify highly sensitive classified information.
So he's a traitor in your eyes. He's not some hero.
Absolutely, he's a traitor, and he joins the ranks of an Aldrich Ames and a Hansen. And I can't underscore enough how highly dangerous this was to America's national security. These were important tools that we had at our ready to be able to use to thwart terror attacks. We need to focus on the fact that we cannot allow people to be in positions of sensitive information and to be able to betray the American trust the way that Snowden did. He's clearly a traitor. That's where the focus needs to be, because the hearing demonstrated quite clearly we have oversight both from the courts and from Congress. There is 100% auditability of the NSA, and there are no known examples of any intentional misuse of data.
I understand that, Congressman, but do you agree with your former colleague, Ron Paul, who said that they're using this as an excuse, or this invasion of privacy, if you will, on these phone records, to justify what they did by pointing to what they prevented? He didn't buy it. He didn't think it was. Do you?
Well, no, a couple of examples were declassified just simply to give an example of what has been done with this data. But this is not an invasion of anyone's Fourth Amendment right.
You don't think collecting over 110 million Americans' phone records is overkill?
Well, again, let's recall what we're talking about. The phone companies didn't voluntarily hand over information. They were compelled to hand it over. There is no identifiers connected to the phone numbers. Again, these are dots. We call on the intelligence community to connect the dots. They can't connect dots if there's no dots to connect.
I know, but I guess the argument, Congresswoman, is that they collected way too many damn dots, and that they overstepped their bounds, and they went way beyond the Patriot Act. So you don't buy that. You disagree with Ron Paul?
No, not at all.
Okay,
not at all. I totally disagree.
What do you think should happen?
Be happy to have a conversation about that too.
Understood. So what do you think should happen to Mr. Snowden?
Oh, I think that he should be extradited out of China. It's an unbelievable coincidence that all of this information was revealed just when the president was going to take to task China for their cybersecurity espionage and attack within our government computer systems. So I think that there may have been a link there. But I think clearly he needs to be extradited. He committed treason against his country. He violated our laws, and he needs to have justice.
Congressman, I do want to raise a point that I've talked to a number of these former whistleblowers in and outside of government, including those at the NSA, including one coming up tonight on FBI, which, Congresswoman, if you don't get, you really should demand. But I digress. Anyway, their point collectively to a man is this, that maybe Snowden went to Hong Kong because he saw the way prior whistleblowers were treated, and that he felt it was a losing cause to stay here as a result. What do you say?
Oh, I don't buy it. I mean, a whistleblower is someone who sees wrongdoing within the law. So there is within the law, but someone is acting outside of the law, and then they blow the whistle. In this particular case, based upon all the information that came out at the hearing today in Intelligence Committee, the NSA was fastidious about following the law. Gotcha. There is not one example that came out of any intentional violation of any kind from the law. And I think what we saw today pretty clearly is the government isn't doing what all of these stories are claiming it is.
Congresswoman, thank you very much. Always good chatting with you.
Thank you, Neil.
Michele Bachmann.